possibly monitor on your own. Like someone trying to use your social security number to open a loan, purchase a home in your name, or even take over your investment accounts.
The alerts I get from LifeLock are super simple. Was this you? Yes or no?
And if you become a victim, a dedicated U.S.-based identity restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed. All LifeLock members are backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package, including reimbursement for stolen funds.
There was a letter from LifeLock with a check for over $81,000. They made me whole.
Call now or go on with promo code GET35 to save 35% off an annual plan for your first year. All plans include a 60-day money-back guarantee. Call 1-800-664-0392 or visit lifelock.com/get35 to save 35% on your first year. Enroll now.
Looking for a way to stretch the dollar? With Insurify, you can cut your car insurance bill in
You just sitting there crying and shit.
Switch online. That's it.
Shut
No
up.
phone calls and no wasted time. Go to Insurify and save today.
Here we go.
Weekdays on the Nest.
We're going to be out here until we catch our fugitive.
Hang up the collar and put away the chew toy. Because the dog is unleashed. Dog the bounty hunter, that is.
This is real bounty hunting.
Dog and his crew are coming after you. Well, not you.
We're not stopping.
Unless that bell got jumped. Then the cuffs are gonna click. Dog the bounty hunter. Weekday mornings starting at 9, 8 central on the Nest.
That's exciting, isn't it?
The Nest invites you to explore cities across America and the crimes that turn them upside down. Lust, greed, and murder. City Confidential. Weeknights on the Nest.
Debbie Milkey's trial would begin 9 months later, in September 1990, at the Central Court Building in downtown Phoenix. The 26-year-old faced a possible death penalty. Prosecutor Noah Levy had the difficult task of proving a mother could hire 2 men to kill her own son in cold blood.
I'm prosecuting a mother and accusing her of having her son killed. I really was unsure how the jury would accept this.
Prosecutors also had to prove a conspiracy without a money trail, a weapon, or testimony from either of the alleged co-conspirators. Roger Scott had led police to the boy's body and had told authorities that Debbie Milkey offered to pay him and Jim Stiers part of the $5,000 insurance payout. But he turned down the deal to testify at Milkey's trial. That left prosecutors with Debbie Milkey's disputed confession to Phoenix detective Armando Saldati. Saldati's 7-page account of his 30-minute interview was the centerpiece of the state's case. According to prosecutors, he showed a self-seeking, manipulative woman who had her child murdered just to get on with her life.
To try to categorize a personality, it seemed to would be of excessive selfishness and disregard for the lives of others in order to fulfill your own goals.
She decided that it'd be best for Christopher Milkey to die.
Detective Saldati took a riveted jury step by step through his police report that documented the confession. At the beginning, Saldati had written, Deborah did not admit to her involvement in the conspiracy, but did admit that she had been feeling sorry for her son because of his father's negative influence.
She started talking about Mark Milkey and how he was, abused drugs and alcohol at the time. He'd been in and out of
But she did not want him to grow up like her husband, Mark Milkey.
According to the detective, Milkey eventually opened up and told of her involvement in her son's death. Saldati quoted Milkey as saying, "Look, I just didn't. I'm not a crazy person."
with them, and the only solution was to kill him.
Saldati testified that Milky approached her roommate Jim Stiers about committing the murder.
She said she had a hard time at first trying to tell Jim about what she wanted, but then finally she kind of got the nerve of
Oh, we try to watch that type of shit, but this alright.
The detective reported that Debbie knew exactly when the murder was going to happen and did nothing to stop it. The account was a damning portrait of a callous woman who, as soon as she
Bad signal with the free phone. I ain't mad till I got the tablet. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna bring up.
During
You
cross-examination,
have to tell.
Milky's court-appointed attorney, Ken Ray, questioned the way Saldati
Online. Got the P.O. box.
handwritten notes during the one-on-one interview, and later typed them up so that her sleeve
All the apply for a P.O. box.
Saldati acknowledged paraphrasing most of Debbie's statements in his report.
Two applications for a P.O. box.
If you got a confession from somebody, you have your voice recorded because you got it.
I'm over there working on some other kind.
And attended the trial.
I don't want to be sarcastic, but that's what they do in beautiful downtown Baghdad. Police officer, they says, "Oh, I got a confession." That's it. It's the most disgraceful police work I've ever seen in my life.
He was very believable, good presenter. Has probably had a lot of experience on the stand.
The state backed up the testimony of the detective with one character witness after another. Some of them testified that Debbie was an irresponsible, manipulative woman.
Kurtenberg.
Among those witnesses was Debbie's own sister, Sandy Pickenpaw. Sandy testified that Debbie had neglected Christopher, often trying to pawn him off on friends and relatives, leaving him in their care for days or even weeks at a time.
DoorDash, okay.
Dealing with Christopher. Christopher
DoorDash, keep going.
She often
Like
found
that.
herself scared because he would stress her to the point where she would feel violent.
Sandy gave the packed courtroom one other reason why her older sister might have wanted to get rid of her son. She testified that Christopher interfered with Debbie's relationship with an ex-boyfriend named Ernie, who had broken up with Debbie a month before the murder.
She told me that Ernie was in love with her, that Ernie wanted to marry her, but that Christopher was a her in his side. He did not want to be an instant father.
Deborah wanted to go with someone who could provide her a better life, and it took sacrificing Chris for that. It's, part of the motive that she was willing to do it.
Milky's father also testified for the prosecution. He said that Debbie would try to get money out of him by withholding visits from his grandson. Milky tried to explain why her family testified against her.
I was devastated that they would desert me the way they did, but at the same time I wasn't surprised because as far as my sister, she had a tendency to be vindictive and spiteful.
Ballistics evidence never made it clear who shot the boy out in the desert. But prosecutor Noel Levy argued it was Milky's roommate, Jim Stiers. Stiers, he said, had two incentives for participating in the plot. A cut from the $5,000 life insurance payout, and the hope of a sexual relationship.
She's the one who was the puppeteer who moved Stiers' strings. She was the mastermind of the conspiracy to kill her boy.
Up next, the jury would get the chance to weigh the integrity of the most important witness. 21-year police veteran Armando Saldati against the testimony of a frightened 26-year-old woman. Because Deborah Milky would take the stand in her own defense.
Saving money is always exciting. That's why right now is the perfect time for you to join A.K.A. As an AARP member, you'll have exclusive access to hundreds of benefits, resources, and tools that can help you save money, stay healthy, have fun, and make a difference in pictures, dining, travel, and so much more.
Pick up your phone and call, or go to joinaarp.org to join today.
Get out my
Just
Capital
$11
One
per
shit.
year with a 5-year term during this special offer. Plus a
Activate
7
my
year
account
free.
tonight.
Wow, that's a great deal. What else do I get when I join? There are practical and easy-to-use tools with insightful tips on managing your money,
Black
boosting your
Pen to
business,
do
and
the
so much more.
application
Plus,
in.
you get the AARP Now mobile app with daily news, in-depth features, and access to local
Yo, the
events.
wow.
AARP offers a lot, but I'm not retired.
Oh, you don't have to be retired to join AARP.
Oh, I went to, you know, see, I went to the post office. Told y'all. Went to the post office. How to apply for a bill. Many people have discovered that post office box service is a safe, convenient way to receive their mail. Learn all about the PO Box service on the first 2 pages of this form. Then decide whether to apply. Select the PO Box. Either require for the options, no payments, fees. Find a PO Box here and get information. Visit the UPS PO Box. You may pay your initial PO Box fee online at the post office where your PO Box is located. There are 2 simple ways to apply. Apply online, apply at the post office. Pay online, pay in person, pay at the SSK. Look, I can read too.
Are you over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days? I have some important news for you. Don't buy
Terms of service, update information, accumulated mail, change of address, PO Box key, PO Box refunds, remote payments on money.
That's right, free. This book reveals little known truths about annuities and simple to understand terms. Grab a pen right now, because we're about to offer you this free book
Got
that
that,
unlocks
let
the
me make
5
sure.
little known truths.
All right, got
We
that.
believe baby boomers and seniors should know
Green
before
Dot,
buying an annuity,
Venmo,
and it's free.
Capital
Call
One.
800-743-0290.
I like this little door there.
As a goal, also get
Door.
a free annuity rate report.
40% off
We
door there.
researched
Need
numerous
that.
products and summarized rates and benefits of annuities, all from Silac Insurance Company. Call 800-743-0290. That's 800-743-0290. Call now.
In Phoenix in the fall of 1990, 26-year-old Debbie Milkey was on trial for her life. Charged with coercing 2 acquaintances into murdering her 4-year-old son, Christopher. Milkey's court-appointed attorney, Ken Ray, planned a straightforward defense. He called a string of witnesses, most of them neighbors and friends, to testify that Debbie was a loving mother. Defense investigator Crick Fowler had assembled most of these witnesses.
Usually somebody's going to do something really horrible and does minor things first and work to it. There's nothing like that in his background. Zero. Absolutely nothing.
But according to Fowler, Milkey's character witnesses fell flat in comparison to the testimony of Debbie's father and sister.
I think the jury probably thought that, well, the family said all this bad stuff about her, she must have done it. The family didn't say anything that she did. They said she was bad, rotten, no good.
On October 1st, 1990, Deborah Milkey took the witness stand to try to turn the tide. In a nervous, monotone delivery, Milkey told the jury about her last day with her son and seeing him off with her roommate, Jim Steyer.
Well, he had heard Jim mention that he wanted to use my car and go back to the mall. And he got excited and asked, can I go? Can I go? Santa Claus was there last night and I want to see him again.
Milkey then described her reaction when Steyer's called to tell her that Christopher was missing.
I was hysterical. I couldn't talk straight. I remember I was screaming into the phone and my dad kept telling me to calm down. That it's normal for children to get lost at this time of the year.
Debbie spent 5 days in the witness chair. Her primary goal was to cast doubt on Phoenix detective Armando Saldati's report of her confession. Milky, she made no such confession. She said she had gone voluntarily to the sheriff's office in Florence, Arizona, unaware that her son's body had been found. She was waiting for the detective in a small room. Soldati entered and ordered everyone else to leave. In her telephone interview, she gave her version.
Mr. Soldati rolled a chair directly in front of me, said my son was found murdered and that I'm under arrest for it. And I immediately screamed out to him, what?
Until this minute, she had no idea what even happened to her child. And he tells her, your child has been murdered. She just lost her mind.
While I was sitting there crying and sobbing, he was reading Miranda rights, and I could hear what he was saying, but I really wasn't comprehending. He asked about being taped, and I just looked at him and I was confused, and I said, taped? No.
Debbie's refusal to be tape recorded is one of the few facts she and the officer agree on. She testified that she spent much of her 30-minute interrogation trying to fend off Soldati's aggressive questioning.
He sat back in the chair and he said, I'm not going to tolerate this type of activity from you, because I was crying and I wouldn't say anything.
Debbie Milky refuted entirely the substance of Soldati's report.
There was absolutely no.
Well, I wish I could take a shower. I got me feeling so too.
His entire account of his report. He completely twisted things
They do be doing that.
he attributed to me were completely
Copying and pasting with the
not make a
paperwork.
to that man at all.
Shit sound all the
He
same.
said, I'm here to question you.
Milky and her defense team had hoped her performance on the stand would make a positive impression.
True. I was hysterical.
But her testimony may well have had the opposite effect.
I know it did. She's up there 5'8".
As sympathetic, she didn't come across as emotionally devastated by the death of her son. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, Debbie was like a 9+ in terms of a bad witness.
Damn, she's a Superman.
The anxiety drug to help control her emotions. She defends her performance.
Just because I was not over emotional in front of a packed courtroom, that doesn't mean that I wasn't feeling anything. I was hit with a double tragedy. My only child was murdered, and I was on trial for my life. I didn't want to,
I feel that part.
After 14 days of testimony on October 11th, 1990, the case went to the jury. A guilty verdict could mean a death sentence for Deborah Milky. The defense was counting on the jury to find reasonable doubt on several fronts. Not only did Milky's lawyer point to the disputed confession, he also questioned the state's contention that Jim Stiers had pulled the trigger. He argued that if there was doubt over which man was the murderer, there was certainly doubt over whether Debbie Milky had manipulated Stiers into a murder plot. The jury's decision is next.
Oh, give me some
There are
snack.
a lot of insurance companies out there. We all know the
Piece
business.
of pocket.
But if you're looking to really save money, you need companies that are going to compete for your business. Compare.com brings car insurance companies to you. There are dozens of well-rated insurance companies in your state that can help you save money right now. And you can save over $740